Okay.
Okay.
So
So
sorry,
sorry,
guys.
guys. Oh boy. So sorry, guys. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry. Um, how you doing, Lucian? Good to see you, brother. What's going on? What's going on, guys? I'm that clone guy E, and this is simply put sense. Doing it for a second time because I'm having difficulties today. It's so funny.
Oh
Oh
boy.
boy.
But it's okay. Um, we're back. Now it's okay? Awesome, Lucian. Wow. I don't know what's been going on, guys. All right, Lucian. Thank you so much for letting me know about that. I really appreciate you. You hear me now? Everything's great? Okay. Yeah, I think everything is okay now. Okay, let's do it over. What's going on, guys? I'm that cologne guy E, and this is Simply Put Sense. Thank you so much for coming on this channel. Guys, my goal is to help you save time and money, so do hit that subscribe button because I do these videos every week on Wednesdays between 6 and 7 live at Bergdorf Goodman. We're coming to you live at Bergdorf Goodman today. And Bergdorf Goodman is one of the most amazing places to purchase fragrance, and we're having an awesome beauty event kicking off today. And the beauty event basically allows you to purchase some of the most amazing exclusive fragrances at Bergdorf without paying retail. You're going to receive anywhere from 18 to 35% off your choices, off your total, depending on what you spend. And let me share with you the tiers for that. It's a really, really interesting setup, I have to tell you. If you spend $250, you receive $35 off. If you spend $500, you receive $100 off. If you spend $1,000, you receive $250 off. If you spend $2,500, you receive $625 off. And of course, if you spend $3,500 more, you receive $1,000 off. And of course, there are ways to kind of like separate your purchases so that you receive even more discounts than the ones you see. So for instance, I had a client who spent about $800, so I was able to split her charges, her payment, so that she was able to receive $135 off her Bergdorf Goodman purchases today in the beauty floor. So if you all want to take advantage of the beauty event that's going on right now, where you're going to receive anywhere from 18 to 35% off your purchases, literally fragrance net type discounts at Bergdorf Goodman, please let me know. Please hit me up. You can always leave your information in the comments. You can always email me at el-aton@themaker.com. Leave your number in the email. I'll call you, and if you need me to send your fragrance, I guess you could say through the mail, not a problem at all. So just to let you know, I am here for you guys. I'm not only here to give you great and sound fragrance advice, but I'm also here if you need a connect at Bergdorf Goodman to help you get something awesome. And of course, you'll always get more samples than you can imagine because you're my audience and I'm gonna take especially great care of you. So if you would like to take advantage, please do that. Please let me know. It would be an absolute honor to assist you. And of course, you know, we'll stay in touch. I'll make sure you get taken care of anytime you need anything at Bergdorf Goodman. So as you all see, it's crazy. It's really a crazy, crazy deal. It's called the Rewarding Beauty Event. It happens 3 times a year. So again, if you want to take advantage, let me know because I would absolutely be honored to help you. Okay, so guys, today's video is going to be, and I guess this could probably help you. This video is going to be all about fall fragrances that are available at Bergdorf Goodman. What I would like to say are fall fragrances that I would wear during the fall. These are all fragrances that I've put on my skin. These are all fragrances that I've worn, that I've experienced multiple times, because when I'm in the store, boy, do I love to play with perfume. Like I really have a problem. Um, I have an assortment, like a really awesome assortment of perfumes to share with you, and they are insane, and they're all available at Bergdorf. Some of them exclusively at Bergdorf. Let me see. Should I say that? Actually, no. None of these are Bergdorf Goodman exclusives, but they're all fairly new. A couple came out last year, but they were just released in the store, so I'm adding them to the list. Maybe this will all help some of you who are considering the reward event but don't know what to consider. I think I'm gonna literally share with you some. I feel like these are amazing, and every one of these fragrances are fragrances that I would buy. I'm just putting it to you like that. So I'm not even gonna take no time. We're just gonna get into it because like I spent like the first 5 minutes muted. I don't know, guys. It's been one of those weeks for me. Like last week was crazy. This week is crazy. What can I do? I know, right? At least I don't have a green tie on a green screen. That was funny, Lucian. I gotta tell you. Last week was like, what a screen that was. That was a funny live. But wearing a green tie with a green screen, not a good idea. I don't know what I was thinking. I walked out the house, was like, you know what? Whatever. But actually, like, I was in the house last week. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. It was my birthday last week. But anyway, let's get into this. What's going on, Catch My Whiff? Hope you're blessed. So let's get into this list. I'm going to just let you know, we're going to go over some of these fragrances. I'm going to show you, I'm going to share with you some of what people think about them. I'm going to get into Parfumo and Fragrantica, and we're gonna really go and we're gonna do a nice little deep dive into these scents. The first fragrance is a popular one, but it just launched in Bergdorf Goodman, and I mentioned it before. You all have heard of this fragrance. If you haven't, I don't know what rock you living under. Get some air, touch some grass, because this next fragrance is literally like the new it fragrance, the new scent that everyone needs to either have smelled, owned, or either crapped on because they like to be contrarian, or loved because they don't. It's a fragrance called, of course, Ganimede. Ganimede by Marc-Antoine Barrois. Yeah. Ganimede, guys, you already know. You've heard of it. You've seen it. It's everywhere. It's a fragrance that love these lives. Thank you so much, Lavelle. I'm so grateful for you, brother. When you're whiffing multiple perfumes, things get a little squirrely in the brain. That is true, brother. But you know what it is? I've really trained my nose to be able to really be able to smell a bunch of things without my nose going kind of like womp womp. So, oh damn! I wish I told you all about the X and Hilo event. It's happening right now. I don't know. Anyway, Ganymede. Ganymede, or Ganymede if you're in America. This fragrance is beautiful. It's new. It's by a perfumer that everyone is clamoring to own. Quinton Biche made this fragrance. He also made a dupe of this fragrance, which is ridiculous that he did that. He made a fragrance for the brand and then a dupe for another. That's kind of hot. That's kind of a mess, you know. That's really messed up. And I would have been heated if that was me, if that was my brand. If like I was Marc-Antoine Barrois, I'd be like, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. Anyway, Quinton Biche made this masterpiece of a fragrance. And why do I feel like it's a masterpiece? It's a fragrance that is definitely in line with what is really successful right now. What is the secret sauce of Ganymede? I'll let you know. If you never smelled this fragrance, or Bois Essential, Essential Parfum has a fragrance called Bois Imperial, I believe. It smells exactly like it to a lot of people. I definitely notice a difference. Quinton Biche made both of them, but this is the better of the two by far. Anyone who tells you different is absolutely lying. This fragrance, the reason why it's so popular, the reason why it's so great is because it's doing what Baccarat Rouge does. What does Baccarat Rouge do? What does Baccarat Rouge do? Baccarat Rouge is one of those fragrances you spray it on paper and it hides. It comes across light. You notice it, but some people don't even smell it. It's light on paper, strong on skin. So when people smell it in public, they're like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Most people, if they knew how strong it was, would say, oh, that's too much. But that's the secret of Baccarat. Baccarat comes across light, wears heavy. But when you wear it, you get nose blind. So it still comes across light to you, but everyone in the world smells it other than you. So it has people coming up to you telling you how great you smell. The same thing happens with Ganimede. When you wear this fragrance, people walk up to you randomly and tell you you're smelling amazing. You don't even notice it a lot of the times. Others do. I do have to admit though, this fragrance, although it does come across light on paper, it pushes. It lasts forever. This fragrance is also very modern. Men and women equally love it, which is also awesome. On Fragrantica, look at this note breakdown. 4,440 votes. 4.09 out of 5. Realize one thing though, guys. On Fragrantica, or any other website where people are judging fragrances, the more votes, the lower the total. The more people who vote on a perfume, the less I notice that rating typically becomes. So for this fragrance to have over 4,000, almost 4,500 votes to still be above 4 is very impressive, because most people can't agree on the color of rice. So the fact that so many people found this fragrance so well done is a testament to the fragrance, in my opinion. It came out 4 years ago, again made by Quinton Biche, and the reason I think of this fragrance as being so beautiful, the Aki Gala wood, a very, very unique fragrance ingredient, only available with Givaudan. Givaudan is a fragrance producer who makes amazing fragrances for all kinds of brands, and it's the secret sauce of Ganimede. Look at the trend line. This trend line is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. When I saw that trend line, I was like, oh, that's crazy. You know? That trend line is trending. You know? And it's because Ganimede is literally kind of like the Baccarat Rouge of the moment, the Santal 33 of the moment. This is the new it darling in the fragrance community. And for a brand that's brand new, that only has 5 fragrances, to have that many votes and to have that much attention, this fragrance, it's doing things. And a lot of people hate on it. I don't know why. I think it's beautiful. It works with men. It works with women. It works with older people. It works with younger people. It works with people who dress up. It works with people who dress down. And that's the reason, again, why it's also so popular. Not only... Ay, Dios mío. Sorry, guys. I was echoing for a second. Okay. I swear. I need a producer. Any of you guys are producers? Come through. I need your help. Gosh. Anyway, Ganimede, good stuff, great stuff. Really, really beautiful. Will last on your skin an entire day. Definitely one of the best new fragrances that I will be destroying in the store, and I might be buying very, very soon. One of the best options at Bergdorf Goodman for the fall, just released in the store. So wanted to put you on to Marc-Antoine Barrois, Ganimede. Okay, the next fragrance on this list of amazing fragrances at Bergdorf is going to be from the awesome house of Fueya. Ah, Fueya. Fueya, Fueya, Fueya. Fueya killed me. Guys, so Fueya recently came out with not just one, but two releases at the exact same time. I absolutely love both. I think they're both beautiful. I don't like the fact that one cap is pink, one cap is black, because none of these fragrances will come across pink. They are both dark fragrances with Fueya's awesome green aesthetic. I really, 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 really love this brand. They're a little bit overwhelming. There's so many fragrances from Fueya that when you go to their boutique and you try them, you're gonna be like, damn, where do I start? You know, just pick a corner. You'll understand if you've been there. It's a lot. A lot. So they came out with another two fragrances to add to their very, very overwhelming options. But I have to tell you, even though they're pretty overwhelming, they are beautiful. They're very, very, very unique, very, very natural smelling, but they have a nice longevity for fragrances that come across uber natural, right? So Fueya collabed with a female named Gabriella Hearst, and they came out with two fragrances. One is called Paisando, and the other is called New York. New York and Paisando by Fueya. And Fueya, it's so Fueja. I really don't know how to say it. I'll be honest with you. It makes sense that it's Fueya. Whatever. This brand, this brand right here is insane, guys. Absolutely beautiful. Very few people talk about this brand. Very few people have been talking about these two fragrances. Of course, these two perfumes literally just came out the other day. Literally the other day. And I don't even know who Gabriella Hearst is. I should have looked her up. And well, that's the benefit of having a live. I can always look stuff up right then and there. Let's see, who the hell is Gabriella Hearst? Gabriella Hearst is, she's a clothing designer. Nice. Awesome. So Fueya is doing very DS and Durga-like stuff where they're doing collabs now, which is pretty serious. And Gabriella Hearst is a designer. She makes very well priced. Oh no, she doesn't. She makes very expensive clothes. And she's a female she's a female designer of women's clothing. And I gotta tell you, none of these fragrances smell pretty. None of them. This cap kind of makes this fragrance deceptive because a lot of women will see this cap and think, oh, that's going to be a pretty fragrance. They're going to smell Paisando and they're going to be very, very, very shocked because there's nothing pretty about it. It's beautiful though, but it's not a pretty fragrance whatsoever. And is it insane? Let me show you what this fragrance looks like. So this is I already showed you what it looks like. I am going to show you what Fragrantica says about it. So on Fragrantica, this fragrance came out this year. Only 4 people voted on it, so it's a baby. It's literally a baby. It's a baby. It's a baby. It's a little baby. And this one is the New York. New York, wow. New York, fir balsam, black pepper, nutmeg, mid notes, tobacco, rose, cherry blossom. Base notes, jacaranda, which is a tree native to South America. Woody notes, maple, Virginian cedarwood. vanilla, patchouli, palo santo, musk, and tonka. I said tusk. That's funny. Damn, is this good? It is really, really good. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of ingredients in this fragrance, and when I smell it, it makes me think of dried fruits. There's like a really interesting dried fruits, like imagine dried apricots with other dried fruits coming together to give you a dried fruit vibe. That's what this smell does. Very woody, slightly spicy, extremely well blended. It's very, very difficult to pinpoint the notes in this. That's how well blended it is. It is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm a huge fan of this. Fir balsam, tobacco, and jacaranda wood is the main ingredients according to Fuea. But when I sprayed this on my skin, I gotta tell you, this scent stayed on forever. Now, Paisandu, I was shocked by also. No, excuse that. This is not the fragrance with the dried fruit note. Paisandu is the fragrance that has a dried fruit type of experience. This one is more warm, huggable, slightly gourmand, but not gourmand. I mean, it doesn't remind me of something I'd want to eat, but it does have like a creamy experience about it and very, very spicy, very, very resinous, beautiful. Not a gourmand though. It's actually categorized as one. Makes no sense to me. But Paisandu. Now, Paisandu, I was absolutely blown away by. Paisandu is another very, very, very beautiful fragrance with Gabriella Hearst as a collaborator. This fragrance, another one, only 4 votes. 5. I didn't vote on this, but I would definitely say love it. I love both of them. Not only do they smell amazing together, they really, really smell amazing. Well, not only do they smell great separate, but they also smell great together. So you can layer them also. When I layer this, I was asked what I was wearing before I left the store by 3 people at least. Both of them smell great. I love Paisano alone. I love this New York alone. Together, I love them both also. I really, really appreciate these fragrances from Fuea, and I think they did an amazing job. Paisandu, also created in 2023. It has lemon, but the lemon doesn't smell kind of basic and cheap. Herbal notes, jasmine, floral, lady of the night flower. What the hell is that? I don't know, but it sounds cool. Herbal notes, woody notes, Cabreva. It's South American, so I would imagine it wouldn't have a French way of saying it. Cabreva. Having a weird one. Another balm and Palo Santo. I'm not even gonna try. Copaiba. I don't know. Copaiba balm. All of these are ingredients that you'll find native in South America, and that's another reason why I love Fuea, because Fuea really, really celebrates the whole country of Argentina in a really beautiful way. A lot of the ingredients you'll only find in Argentina. So one of the reasons why I love also Fuea, they don't smell like other brands. Very important to know. So yeah, smells great by themselves, smells even better together. And 2 amazing releases from the House of Fuea, one of the best niche houses in the whole continent of South America, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna get to the next fragrance. The next fragrance is a really, really beautiful release. I mean, they're all really beautiful releases. I'm gonna go really, really
Easy breezy right now. Okay.
So the next fragrance I wanted to talk to you all about is from the house of Armani Prive. It's a new fragrance that was just launched. I would say it just came out. I would say last year. No, wait. Let me check. So it's called Magenta Tanzanite. And Magenta Tanzanite comes from that colored bottle line of Armani Prive. Armani Prive, in my opinion, again, I've mentioned this multiple times, it's one of the best designer houses for niche perfumes. One of the best designer houses for niche quality fragrances, right? It's a designer brand, Armani, but they have a niche line, Prive, Armani Prive, and these fragrances are excellent and they're very, very underrated, very underappreciated, especially outside the fragrance community. Makes no sense how many people ignore these fragrances unless, like, you know, somebody does a TikTok on, like, you know, malachite. Then all of a sudden everybody wants that fragrance. When a TikToker talks about them, all of a sudden they're the thing. But this fragrance, very few people even know. It is a beautiful, beautiful, warm, vanillic fragrance with some patchouli or what smells like patchouli, but there's no patchouli. I think there's patchouli in this. I don't care if the note breakdown doesn't say there's patchouli in this. There's definitely a patchouli-ish thing going on in this fragrance. So what's going on in this fragrance? Well, Magenta Tanzanite has a rating of 4.32 out of 5 with 428 votes. That's a very, very high rating. A ton of fives were, a ton of people voted it as a perfect scent, as a 5 out of 5. It came out last year, late last year. It hadn't come into this store until like a month ago. Very, very excited about it though, because this is an amazingly beautiful experience. It has cardamom, ginger, bergamot, cinnamon, coffee, myrrh. By the way, cinnamon is definitely like the note du jour. Everybody is doing cinnamon. Everybody's adding cinnamon. It is a very trendy ingredient in the fragrance world at the moment. This fragrance also has coffee, myrrh, tobacco, vanilla, and tonka. Huge fan of coffee, huge fan of myrrh, huge fan of everything on this list. All these notes are notes that I look for and want to smell when I see them. So I'm very, very impressed by it. What do I love about, yeah, this is really, really beautiful. So when you first spray it, you're gonna get the ginger, the cardamom, the cinnamon, the bergamot. They're gonna definitely wrap themselves around your nose and hold it for dear mercy. This fragrance is not gonna be a weak one at all. It is absolutely a fragrance that will stick. It will stay on your clothes for a long, long time. A fragrance that I honestly feel is one of the better options from Armani Prive, one of the best new releases they've done in a long time. I like the indigo. They had another one that just came out. It's a blue. It's called it's a Tanzanite, but I can't remember which color. But it's a purple take on the Tanzanite from Armani Prive, and it is a beautiful, beautiful, creamy patchouli. I was going to add it, but I didn't want to bring both, so I had to choose one or the other, and I chose a magenta. Magenta is absolutely beautiful. It's next level. Some people, it has a really nice trend, by the way. It should be, to me, this is a good trend. And why? Because it means that most people don't like it. I mean, it means most people don't know about it. And when most people don't know about something, I enjoy it. I really, really do. If you look at this trend line, you'll see a lot of people are kind of like, about this one. Yes. And the other one was called Indigo Tanzanite. So there's a magenta Tanzanite and an indigo Tanzanite. Both are beautiful. My favorite would probably be the magenta. But if you're a fan of straight, beautiful patchouli, you might absolutely love the indigo because it is an amazing take on patchouli. So anyway, great line, has decent projection, decent longevity. It's not a loud fragrance. More unisex, but some people feel like it's definitely leaning in the feminine world. I definitely feel like men and women can equally wear it. Again, if you're a guy who wears Y by YSL, you could definitely get away with this fragrance with no issue. It's really, really beautiful. I just feel like very few people know about this fragrance. It's in Bergdorf, so if you are in New York and you want to smell this scent and can't find it, come to BG. It is here for you. I'm here for you, and you're gonna find this fragrance really interesting, likely. So that's that. Now, I wanted to talk to you all about a couple of designer fragrances, and these are straight designers, because a lot of people feel like, oh, because you're in BG, you're so bougie now, you don't talk about the cool stuff like us designer guys like to wear, but I do really dig designers still. I just don't wear them as often because very few designers really, really speak to me. Although I did find a couple of really awesome elixirs, and I'm sure you all know about them, I've heard about them. This is the year of the elixir in the designer world, and I do have 2 elixirs for you. From the house of Gucci, Gucci Guilty Elixir pour Homme. Pour Homme. Gucci Guilty Elixir pour Femme. So, for the ladies, for the fellas. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Funny thing though, this Gucci Guilty, it's kind of like green, so my green screen is playing games. It is all good. So, these 2 fragrances are really, really beautiful. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm not the biggest fan of the Gucci Guilty line. I find them to be very, very, you know, not me at all. But I gotta tell you, I was a little pleasantly surprised by Gucci Guilty Elixir. And the reason why, for Pour Homme, and the reason why is because, like, there's this fresh warmth about it. Now, one of the things I noticed when I went to Fragrantica and looked up this fragrance, I noticed that it got a lot of hate. And I really feel like a lot of people hated it before they even got a chance to smell it because this fragrance wasn't available around the time when a lot of the haters hated on it. You know? So, I feel like this fragrance is beat up on Fragrantica, and it shouldn't be based on how it smells. I mean, it smells attractive. Now, what are the notes in this scent? Well, let us see. So, Gucci Guilty, Elixir de Parfum Pour Homme, vanilla, warm, spicy, iris, white, floral. I'm noticing a few elixirs are adding iris to a warm base, and I'm finding that to be very interesting. I love the scent of iris, and when you smell this fragrance, you're going to notice the iris immediately. But again, it's like iris within a warmth. You know, usually iris in the fragrance is very, very fresh. Not in this one. The Gucci Guilty Elixir is a very deep, warm iris. It's a very deep, warm scent. It does have a spiciness to it as well. And I feel like this rating, 3.45 out of 5, is literally a troll. These are trolls doing what trolls do, being stupid, you know? Because there is no way that this fragrance is a 3.4 out of 5. Actually, there's a way. If you were like really, 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 like I guess you could say, if your standards were uber high, this could be an average like scent, like that number would suggest. But I really, really feel like this is a beautiful experience, especially within the Gucci Guilty line. I feel like this is probably the best Gucci Guilty I've ever experienced. Actually, no. Gucci Guilty, no, yeah, pretty much. Gucci Oud Intense is not Gucci Guilty, so that way it doesn't fit. I was going to say Gucci Oud Intense it's the best Guilty, but it's not a Guilty scent. It's not from the Guilty line. This is probably the best, this is the best Gucci Guilty I've ever smelled. There's no Gucci Guilty that I think is better than this. It's sweet, it's spicy, and it's iris with a beautiful, warm, ambery vanilla base. The ingredients in this fragrance, orange blossom, which you definitely notice, pimento seeds, nutmeg, orris, orange blossom again, because Fragrantica is crazy and cracked out a lot of the times, osmanthus, ambrophix, Yeah. That's Givaudan for you. Givaudan, when they make a fragrance, they throw a lot of weird molecules that no one's ever heard of before, and they always drop it in their juice. Vanilla, benzoin, and patchouli. Benzoin is very present in this fragrance, by the way. Extremely present. But I definitely get the nutmeg, the pimento seeds. I smell that orange blossom, that floral element from the orris, the osmanthus. And of course, the benzoin and vanilla are very intense. And that ambrox adds like a muskiness to it. Beautiful. Easy to wear. The only issue I might have, it's not a cheap experience. But I do feel like if you're a fan of the Gucci Guilty line, this is definitely a easy scent to wear and an easy scent to purchase. You're gonna want this. You're gonna love it. It's absolutely beautiful. Now the female version of the same fragrance of Gucci Guilty is very impressive. Very, very impressive. So again, this fragrance is going to be all about the vanilla. I got to tell you guys, this is another one with a really bad rating that I don't agree with. If you're a woman who loves Decadence by Marc Jacobs, you might find this fragrance beautiful. Violet, bergamot, mandora, wisteria, rose osmanthus, tonka, vanilla, patchouli. I smell a lot of vanilla in this fragrance. Rose and wisteria in this fragrance is also noticeable, but the rose in this perfume is not over the top. I don't feel like this is a rose fragrance, thankfully. The citrus in the beginning is not overtly citrusy, but it just adds a freshness, a breathiness to the scent. It's more of a warm fragrance than a fresh one, but very easy to wear and very, very attractive. If you're a woman or a guy who likes pretty fragrances, this could be a scent you might absolutely love. I was impressed by it. When I smelled it, I was like, I want to smell this on women. This is a beautiful woman's fragrance, in my opinion. And I really do feel like a lot of women will want to smell the male version, the Pour Homme, on men. So 2 really good releases from the house of Gucci. In my opinion, not the best of the elixirs, but I would wear this over Sauvage Elixir personally. I really would. Especially also because it's not as overdone and played out as Sauvage is. So at least some people will not know what you're wearing. Yeah. So the next fragrance on this list is, I am really excited to talk about this fragrance. It's from the house of Kilian. And I've never talked about Kilian on my entire channel. There was only one Kilian fragrance that I've ever loved before, and it's called Back to Black. You all probably know it and have heard of it. To me, that fragrance is a legend. I love honey and fragrances, and to me, Back to Black was perfect. It also reminded me of Amy Winehouse. It's like a beautiful fragrance with some rough spots, you know? Just like Amy Winehouse was, right? A beautiful person with some rough spots. But Smoking Hot by the House of Kilian is their newest release. It is a really beautiful take on a spicy fragrance. Smoking Hot, I gotta tell you, why I love this scent is because Kilian went back to Kilian. Kilian went back to its roots. This fragrance isn't like peaches and, you know, frilly stuff. It's not basic at all. This reminds me of Kilian before Estee Lauder purchased the brand. This reminds me of what Kilian used to do when they would put these type of bottles in coffins and sell it to you for like 500 bills when you were like spending $200-300 on a box. That's what this reminds me of. That era Kilian. The era of Kilian when you were overpriced, when you were overspending for a box. That's what this is. This is beautiful, guys. I mean, Kilian really, like, they really put their foot in this fragrance. And I love the name. Smoking Hot That's a sick name, you know? It's a sick name for a fragrance that is definitely warm. So why is this fragrance called Smoking Hot? Well, it has tons of tobacco. It has a lot of cinnamon. It has smoke. It has vanilla. It has a lot of ingredients that are warm. The fragrance has a little bit of moss and apple, which kind of breaks it up a little bit so it's not just heavy, heavy smoke. But when I tell you, you're not going to find this fragrance is just absolutely killing me because it's like Kilian's back. Kilian really is back. It's almost like Kilian got to make his own fragrances or had something to do with this, you know, which I'm really impressed by. Smoking Hot is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let me show you the note breakdown. Again, apple, cinnamon, smoke, tobacco, moss, vanilla, Orsinox, have no idea. But of course, this fragrance was designed in I forgot which, let me see, Matthew Nardin. Oh, he works for Man. Oh, nice. So this fragrance was made by the fragrance company Man. Let me see, what has this guy made so far in his Nardin? So what has Mathieu Nardin or Nardin, what has he made? Has he made anything that has been awesome and special? Not that I know of so far. Oh, okay, he's done a few Kilians. I like L'Hiver, the green hour, or yeah, the green time or green hour. She's done some Annick Goutal. He's done some Annick Goutal. Oh, Iris de Champs. Beautiful fragrance. That's a legend to me. One of the best iris fragrances ever made. Okay, so this guy isn't, you know, he's done more fragrances that are not as popular, but I do feel like Smoking Hot is definitely going to be a good scent for the brand. I think they're going to make a ton of money off of it because, again, it just smells really, really sexy. It's a very, very sexy experience, and I really feel like a lot of people will want to smell like this fall. So this is an amazing option from the house of Kilian. Going back to Kilian's roots, Estee Ware. That's when I smell this, I'm like, Estee Ware? Estee who? This is awesome, guys. Smoking Hot from the house of Kilian. The next fragrance, a beautiful fragrance. I don't know what I was thinking by taking this bottle because there's literally fumes in it. There is no more left, but I'm a huge fan of what this line is about and what this fragrance does. I'm actually very impressed by it. A lot of people don't like it, but it has a secret sauce in it that I'm into. And so it has a little bit of my favorite ingredient, which is called plum. You guys know I love plum. And this fragrance is called Rouge Chaotique by Byredo. Rouge Chaotique by Byredo, guys. Byredo, I think, is trying to break out of its reputation for weak or light fragrances. I like a lot of Byredo's older fragrances, but I kind of ignore Byredo. And I gotta admit, the reason why I ignore Byredo is not because I don't like what they make. It's because I feel like there's so many options that become overwhelming and they're popular. So you have a lot of options and you have a lot of attention on the brand. Two things that kind of turn me off a little bit. So although I love fragrance and I really do like a few of the Byredo fragrances I've really got to get into, I feel like there's a lot in that brand that I would love that I really haven't given a chance. And I haven't given it a chance because when a brand is considered the cool brand, I don't really want to deal with them, you know? But I feel like Byredo is cool for, they're a cool brand and they've earned it. They've earned that title. So I really like this. Rouge Chaotique is a really beautiful, beautiful scent. And the reason, and it'll stain, guys, it's way too red in my opinion. But this fragrance features a lovely note of saffron and cassis, bergamot, lemon, plum, praline, oak, Agarwood Patchouli Papyrus. Sweet, but a man could wear it. Don't let the praline fool you, guys. Don't let the color fool you. When I smell it, though, it almost makes me think dark berries, cherries, or, you know, that type of thing. But it's mostly the plum. And I love plum. It kind of reminds me of citrus and plum, which makes sense because there's so much bergamot in this fragrance. So, a very, very lovely, easy to wear scent that smells expensive, not common. It doesn't smell like every other fragrance on the market. It has great longevity, great sillage. It's unisex. Women wear it a little bit more than men, but I definitely feel like men and women can equally wear this without feeling like they're compromising who they are. People say it reminds them of Baccarat Rouge. That is literally stupidity talking, because there is nothing about this fragrance that smells like Baccarat Rouge. If you smelled this next to Baccarat Rouge and you said they smelled alike, you really, really need to check your nose. I'm just going to put it to you like that. You really, really need to check your nose. Of course, it has saffron, and there's saffron in Baccarat Rouge. But just because an ingredient is in one fragrance and the other, I don't feel like that one similarity makes them similar. Yeah, they have a similar note, but they don't do what they do in the same way, you know? This is not doing what Baccarat does. There's oud in this. There's no oud in Baccarat. I really don't understand people's noses, especially on Fragrantica. I feel like they lead people down bad paths on purpose. I think it's almost a troll, like just to mess with you, you know? But I don't understand why this fragrance also has a low rating. The rating on this fragrance is, well, not low. It's really not bad. But 3.82 out of 5, I definitely would say this is above 4 if I were rating it on Fragrantica. But it's beautiful, guys. I really, really like this. I would like to smell this on a woman. I would like to smell this on myself. So I think this is a really good option for anyone who's into, you know, berryful ouds and wants to smell like a fruity oud on them. And when I mean fruity, I don't mean like a fruity that's like a fruit basket, just like a really, really berry forward or dark plummy experience. Insane, guys, gotta tell you. And it's kind of on the expensive side because it's coming in this small bottle with those, you know, darker options from Byredo, but an excellent choice. Probably one of the best releases they've done in a while, in my opinion. I don't know why I didn't show you this first, guys, but I gotta share this with you. It is absolutely insane. It's from the house of Houbigant. Houbigant. I love Houbigant. This fragrance literally came out hours ago. It's been out for a few days. It's been out for a week or two in the United States, but very few places offer it. This is one of the best tobacco fragrances I've smelled in a very, very long time. I'm gonna just tell you right now, I have 2 tobacco fragrances on this list, and I might as well just go. I have this one, which is an amazing tobacco called Tobacco Honey by Kilian, a fragrance that literally just came out. And, oh no, I love anything with plum too, Micah. Love it, love it, love it. So Kilian came out with Tobacco Honey. This is also very, very new, literally days old. And Houbigant, another heritage brand, came out with a fragrance called Tabac Nomad. Tabac Nomad. Tabac Nomad. And Tobacco Honey. Let me tell you guys, these are not the same tobaccos. These tobaccos do not step on each other's toes. I could own both, and they will smell completely different. And they don't smell the same, and they definitely do different things than the other. So not redundant purchases, even though they both are very, very forward tobacco scents. Let's just get into the Houbigant. Tabac Nomad is, in my opinion, one of the best tobacco fragrances I've smelled in a very long time. I really, 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 really love this stuff. I really love this brand. They are reinventing themselves. They're no longer that old granddad at church brand. They're no longer doing that. They're no longer giving grandpa vibes on a Sunday. Not at all. This is serious. If you're a dude under 50, that's it. If you're any, period, if you're a man or a woman and you love tobacco, you must smell this. You must smell this. You don't need to buy it. You need to put your nose on it. You need to experience it because it is an insane experience of tobacco. I've never smelled tobacco doing what this fragrance is doing. And I really love the fact that Ubigon is taking their line in a much more modern, cool direction. This fragrance is just, when I tell you guys, it makes no sense. It makes no sense how great this fragrance is. It really doesn't. If you look at the note breakdown, tobacco, leather, warm, spicy, vanilla, sweet citrus, right? Look at this rating, 4.45 out of 5 with 31 votes. A ton of number 5s. Guys, bergamot, spices, rose, tobacco, saffron, tonka, leather, and vanilla. Is this perfume insane? The spices in this fragrance, beautiful. The feeling of this fragrance, expensive, luxurious, but I could easily dress this down. It lasts on my skin. It has a beautiful, 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 spicy warmth to it. It's huggable. It's modern, even though there's a classiness to it. So I'm just impressed. Ubigon came out with a new collection called the La Orientale collection. And this is one of the 4 fragrances from that collection. I feel like every single one of them is worth buying. Personally speaking, every one of the fragrances from the La Orientale collection from Ubigon, I would buy them all. I literally would buy them all. I'm starting with this one though. Whoa, is this insane? It's special. It's insane. One of the best tobacco fragrances in Bergdorf Goodman if you're into it. Lovely. Now, how you doing? Now, tobacco honey. Now, what's going on with tobacco honey? Tobacco honey, a very honey-forward fragrance that honestly smells a little dirty. Has a dirtiness to it. A really, really awesome dirtiness to it. Tobacco honey is, like honey can do a weird thing in fragrance. Honey can give off almost a urine-like scent and fragrance. Musk Ravageur back in the day from Frederick Malle used to have one of those urine-like scents in the fragrance. But I have to say, tobacco honey, it's slightly dirty because of the honey, but that dirtiness almost, the honey plays the role of oud in this perfume. That's how I almost interpret it. It's almost like I'm smelling an experience of oud, but instead of oud, it's a honey experience. Dirty with the clean tobacco. Absolutely beautiful. A fragrance that honestly, when you smell this, it's just unique. I honestly thought it reminded me of a fragrance called, a fragrance from the house of 1821 Man-Made. I think you guys remember that. Back in the day, there used to be a tobacco fragrance that they designed. When I first smelled it, it kind of reminded me of this, but when I sprayed this on my skin and compared it to that, it was obvious what fragrance was made by a brand that started yesterday and what brand was made by a brand that's been around for over 150 years. This fragrance right here is special, especially compared to that. If you own that and you want to smell this, they're not the same. Is it insane? This perfume is beautiful, next level beautiful. And why is it so awesome? Well, to me, Guerlain is doing some awesome things. They're definitely moving into a totally different vibe with their fragrances. I think they have a woman named Daphne Jelk doing their fragrances these days. And she has a lot of talent. I mean, she took over from Thierry Wasser, their in-house perfumer before her. And I gotta tell you, she's doing some great work. She's doing some great work. So this fragrance literally came out the other day. It has an amazing note breakdown, but 4.29 out of 5 with 80 votes. Another very highly rated tobacco fragrance from the House of Guerlain. This fragrance features Delphine Jelk. That's her name. This fragrance features notes of honey, clove, anise, tobacco, tonka, vanilla, sesame, oud, and sandalwood. Don't think sesame oil. It is not that prevalent. It's just adding depth to the fragrance. There's nothing weird about this scent. The clove and anise is definitely adding a ton of spice, but it's not overly done. It's just a really beautiful, creamy, lovely experience. And now it kind of makes sense why it has a dirtiness to it, because there is oud in the fragrance. So it's really interesting to do oud, honey, and tobacco in a perfume. And now I'm understanding where that dirtiness is coming from, because I thought it was honestly coming from the honey. I didn't recognize the oud in the scent. Interesting. And it's not a dirty oud, but it's definitely adding funk, but not a funky funk. You know, it's not like an amouage funk, but definitely a little bit funky. You know what I mean? But I really love it. It's a beautiful fragrance. I think both of these scents by the House of Guerlain and Houbigant, two very old houses, two very prestige houses. These fragrances are next level. Absolutely next level. So we did these two. Lovely, awesome, greatness. And I have one last one, guys. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From the House of Frederic Malle, Heaven Can Wait by Jean-Claude Ellena, my absolute favorite perfume maker of all time. Jean-Claude Ellena was the in-house perfumer of, Micah Terry Vassar is with Guerlain, but he's no longer the main perfumer at this point. Delphine has been taking over the majority of the perfume making at Guerlain. Maybe he is overseeing everything and being the creative director, allowing another perfumer to express their art within the brand, which is a great idea. I think that makes sense. You know, sometimes two noses is better than one. And I think in this case, it's definitely the case. But anyway, back to this. Heaven Can Wait by the ultimate perfumer, Jean-Claude Ellena, by the ultimate niche brand, Frederic Malle. Frederic Malle, it's a standard brand. It's when I mean standard, I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean like they're like a heritage niche house, in my opinion. And what do I mean by heritage niche house? Oh, man. What do I mean by heritage niche house? This brand has been around forever, for decades now. And they were one of the first brands to really go in on niche perfumery and work with some of the best perfumers in the world of fragrance. Heaven Can Wait is insane. One of the best new releases. So Uncut Gem was the fragrance before Heaven Can Wait by Frederic Malle. To me, this makes that fragrance smell horrible in comparison. But that fragrance is good too. But this is excellent. It's a beautiful, spicy, fresh fragrance with a warm base. Interesting, lovely, sexy. Men and women can equally wear it. I've never smelled anything like it. Well, actually, I have. It's not the most unique style of scent, but man, is it amazing. And man, is it well blended. And man, is it like, it smells expensive. And it smells beautiful. So, Heaven Can Wait. Heaven Can Wait by the amazing Jean-Claude Ellena has a very low rating, which makes, again, no sense to me. When I smell this fragrance, I definitely, I get it. I get why it's good. I don't understand why people are knocking it. I almost wonder if people are just crapping on Frederick Malle because it's the thing to do. But I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. This fragrance, and I wear this, and I definitely appreciate it, and I definitely get the appeal. This fragrance has cloves, carrot seed, pimento seeds, ambre, plum, iris, magnolia, vetiver, musk, peach, vanilla. Peach is in the base? Yeah, okay. Fragrantica doing what Fragrantica does. Anyway, this fragrance literally just came out this year. It hasn't been out for too long, but the fact that it has a low rating probably speaks to the fact that Jean-Claude Ellena makes fragrances that are on the lighter side, and this is not a cheap scent. So that could probably be the reason why it has a low rating. Because, and it's not a low rating, it's just a very, very average rating, to be honest with you. But I could understand why some people would not like the fact that it's not a cheap fragrance, but yet it does have a more of a light style to it. But some people will definitely get 5 to 8 hours out of this fragrance, and some people will get about 4. But I really, really like it. It's like a masculine powdery style, but women, again, would definitely appreciate this scent. When I smell it, I don't think pretty, so I don't think women's fragrance, but that's just me. There is a powderiness to it, and it gets powderier as the fragrance continues, but it's not like a pretty powder. It's a spicy powder, and I really feel like anyone can wear it. You know, Heaven Can Wait is a really, really good release by the house of Frederick Malle. Why it's got such a low rating makes no sense to me, but I think it's excellent. And when I wear it, and I'm gonna do that right now. By the way, guys, I wore Andy Tower this morning. And yes, I'm overspraying it, because that's what I do. And it's Jean-Claude Ellena, so you need to overspray. What I'm smelling, it's just enveloping this space right now. I am into it. I don't know why people hate it, why some people hate it. Okay, let me just read I am surprised by Heaven Can Wait. I thought it was going to be a musk overload. A lot of people said it doesn't last. Neither of these are true from my experience. I do have oily skin, and I have noticed that certain fragrances last longer than what others say. This is almost identical to Eyes Closed by Byredo. I don't agree with that, but there is a similarity for sure. So anyway, guys, I don't agree with people when they say this fragrance doesn't last and doesn't smell that great, because it does, and it does. That's my opinion. But again, get your nose on it so you'll know what's up. So guys, I'm so, so grateful for you all being on this live. Thank you so much for joining. Fragrantica does suck, yes. What was the question, Micah? Which one do you feel like it could, similarities to Bois d'Argent from Dior? What is? Oh, I see what you mean. Bois d'Argent from Heaven Can Wait? No, I don't smell that at all. I definitely don't smell Bois d'Argent when I smell Heaven Can Wait. So, no. Bois d'Argent, I definitely get more of like a Dior Homme situation. I do not get that from Heaven Can Wait at all. A beautiful, beautiful scent by an amazing perfumer who has absolute awesome talents. Kind of miss him at Hermes, to be honest, but Christine, she's doing okay. Christine Nagel. So thank you so much, William, for coming through. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to see you. Oh, man. Joe, my man. I really Anthony, thank you so much, brother. I
I
really
really
appreciate you,
appreciate you,
brother.
brother.
Echo is
Echo is
better. I
better.
don't know what the hell is going on. Oh yeah, I do know because I'm
I'm
having a
having a
really,
really,
really
really
wild
wild
month
month
this
this
month
month
at
at
streaming.
streaming.
But we're
But we're
gonna
gonna
fix
fix
all
all
this. I
this. I
guarantee you,
guarantee you.
my
My
next
next
two
two
streams are
streams are
gonna
gonna
be
be
better.
better.
Promise you.
Promise you.
We're gonna be
We're
a
gonna be a
lot more
lot more
tight with
tight with
my
my
presentation.
presentation.
Um, oh no.
uh,
God. Ah. Anyway, so guys, here we go. So, yeah, I know I'm echoing. So sorry, guys. Let me produce. Cinnamon stick, though, not the hot ball cinnamon. I love cinnamon stick, yes. That Armani is a home run. I agree. Magenta is next level. Anything with plum is great, and you're so right, brother. Yeah, I am really annoyed with myself. Really annoyed. Okay, what fragrances did Roja perfumes? What did Roja perfume when he was at Guerlain, if you know? Thank you so much, Carson. Really, really grateful for that. Really, really, really grateful for that. So, from what I understand, Roja did not really make any fragrances at Guerlain. From what I understood, he evaluated fragrances and he worked closely with the perfumers who created them in-house. So he was kind of like, did he work in marketing also? To be honest with you, I can't recall exactly what Roja's, what his role was at Guerlain. He was definitely not a perfumer with Guerlain, but he could have been a participant. He could have been someone who helped evaluate the fragrances, made suggestions and, that sort of thing. I think he was more of like a helper of the brand than a person that ran the fragrances and designed things. Fascinating though, speaking about Roja, when people talk about Roja, it's really, really funny because they always crap on this guy. A lot of people, and I've said this before, a lot of people like to crap on Roja because his fragrances are expensive and they don't like the idea of an expensive brand. They don't like the idea of luxury brands and fragrance. And because his fragrances are expensive, they automatically don't feel like his perfumes measure up to the cost. I don't agree with that. When I smell a lot of Roja's fragrances, they don't smell like anything on the market at the time he made them. Yes, they smelled like what used to be on the market 30, 40, 50 years ago, but they don't smell like anything on the market today. And that's very, very important to keep in mind. Like, there's nothing that he's doing that smells like fragrances from other brands. Like, when I smell Roja fragrances, I smell Roja. I don't smell Diptyque. I don't smell Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I don't smell Amouage. I don't smell Frederic Malle. I smell Roja. There are fragrances from his, and especially compared to Guerlain now, I don't smell Guerlain now when I smell Roja. But if, let's say, I smelled Guerlain 40 years ago, yeah, then there might be similarities. But what Guerlain is doing today and what Roja is doing today are completely different. So when people like to say, "Oh, Roja is just a copycat," he's a it's a really, really crappy criticism. It's like it's an unfair criticism. Because what does he do? He takes things that are not on the market and reintroduces them to the market. You can't say he's copying if he's taking something that was done before, changing it up a little bit and reintroducing it. I don't think that's a problem. Actually, I love that. I mentioned that before. I don't hate a clone unless that fragrance that is being cloned is no longer available. I don't like clones. I don't want to deal with them. But if a brand is no longer producing a fragrance and another house has an idea about that, like wants to reintroduce that scent in a different style or direction, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, and I feel like Roja is awesome. Not every fragrance I'm into, I gotta say that. Not every fragrance do I want to wear or would I prioritize, but I'm a huge fan of Roja, especially the fresh ones. You know, a lot of the fresh ones are on point. And I honestly would wear a lot of the fragrance that I would wear a lot of the fragrances that he markets to women. You know, Danger is on point. I wear Danger with Sweetie Aoud all the time. I layer them. You know, so anyway, thank you for the super chat. I'm very, very grateful. But I will definitely check for you. And if you come on the next live next week, I'll have an answer for what his role specifically was at Guerlain. I'll be able to find that out from our amazing encyclopedia about Roja, my man Tom from Bergdorf Goodman. He is like the Roja encyclopedia. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming through. I am absolutely grateful for you all. Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure. Next week, I'm going to be talking about some elixirs. We're going to be mentioning that we're going to be bringing back the Gucci Guilty elixir. We're going to be comparing it to other elixirs, and we're going to see which elixirs are doing what they should be doing and which elixirs are not. I think I want to try to get about 5 different elixir fragrances to compare and contrast with you all. We'll figure it out. We'll see. You know, I don't really like to sometimes plan these. I like to just go with the flow and see how I feel at the time that I'm doing them. And we'll see. But I'm really, really excited about it. I really am mad about this live, though. The echo chamber, the everything. It is what it is. But anyway, I'm so grateful for you all. Have an amazing evening. I'm that cologne guy E, and this is Simply Put Sense. And I'm Simply OUT. Peace.